Welcome back. Second semi-final about to get underway here at the third Women's Series event of the weekend and indeed of the year.
Bullseye.
We've just seen Fallon Sherrock book her place in the decider. Would it be a second final in as many days for Rhian Griffiths, or can Jo Locke finally find the key to reaching a final? She made 4 semi-finals previously on the Women's Series but hasn't managed to get past this stage. However, it's a tough task to topple Rhian Griffiths, who on debut yesterday made a final in her first event, lost to Lisa Ashton, lost to Fallon Sherrock in the quarterfinals of the next event, and they remain the only 2 players to have beaten her so far. Some record.
Yeah, it's been a great weekend for Rhian, whatever the outcome, of course. And it'd be interesting to see where she is in the order of merit at around 7 o'clock tonight. We're taking a keen look at that because we're a third of the way through by 7 o'clock tonight of the qualifying criteria for the women's match play at Blackpool. So that's going to be a really interesting view when you look at who's in the top 8 by around 7 o'clock this evening. Jo Locke has beaten Astrid Trobos 4-1 in the top 16, the last 16, and then she beat Laura Turner 4-1. Boo! to get to this semi-final stage.
140.
Yeah, we've seen it play some very decent stuff at the Women's Series in the last couple of years. Rhian, a player who reached the semi-finals of the BDO World Trophy back in 2016, losing to 45. The great Dieter Hedman. Has taken a bit of a break from playing and certainly still got it, I think it's fair to say, from what we saw yesterday, and indeed the results and performances she's put in so far to date. However, Locke has a healthy lead against a throw in this opening leg.
45.
And has got all the time in the world, seemingly, to get the leg in the ledger. Double top. Nicely done from Jo Locke. A 14-dart start to break the throw.
Yeah, good start from Joanne Locke. Excellent. Got to remember that Rhian Griffiths is a player bang in form. And that is a very, very impressive start
80
from Jo Locke to get us underway in this semi-final. Fallon Sherrock awaits in the final.
Such has been Rhian Griffiths' step away from the sport that her Wikipedia entry actually reads former darts player. Someone needs to amend that because she's very much the present. She's here. She's doing the business.
$100.
Yeah, playing really well. And down the board, Rhian Griffiths goes. Very significant that Locke broke the throw in that first leg in a race to 5, remember? Fallon Sherrock now the clear favourite, of course, to win this event. And from the moment that Lisa Ashton went out at the last 64, I did make the point that because they're in opposite ends of the draw, opposite halves of the draw, it's a real opportunity for somebody to come through and reach the final. And it would be a real fairy tale for Rhian Griffiths to do it 2 days on the bounce. But, yep, it's a great chance for Jo Locke to make it into a final.
Yeah, I think there's a good story either way, isn't there? A first final for Jo Locke or a second in as many days for Rhian. And even though Ashton was out, we got to the semi-finals with 3 players who have been in finals on the Women's Series. We talk about what Fallon Sherrock's achieved against the men. Jo Locke, actually, one of her biggest achievements is winning a tournament called the Stowmarket Open. And it was she was the first woman to win it. And she wins a second leg here since it began in 1927. Beat all the boys on way to victory in that one. And I think, you know, having seen what we've seen, we know that Jo Locke's a good player. We've seen her reach all those semi-finals on the Women's Series before. But having seen what we've seen in the last couple of days, I'm not sure I expected her to be bossing Griffiths in the manner she is in this match, but it's a brilliant display so far from Locke.
Absolutely superb, dominating performance, And already putting pressure on the Rhian Griffiths throw here. How far back did you say that tournament went? 19 what?
1927 it started, yeah.
Trailblazer Joe Locke. And that was what, 2016?
Yep.
Imagine a few mumblings from the fellas in the background. Yeah, what an achievement. Brilliant. Women's darts gaining more and more strength and battling forward and making a mark. Women in sport, across all sports, making progress, and quite rightly so.
Yeah, one of the things we love about this particular sport, no barriers for entry.
Nope.
And I think part of the
60
idea behind the women's series is to give them that platform so that we get more ladies competing with the men, and eventually there'll kind of be no need for a women's series because it'll all just be mixing it on the Pro Tour. That's further down the line, but right now we're happy to be here to see who can be the leading lady on Sunday in South Yorkshire.
Well, this is the type of thing in the early stages of development towards what you just said there, Chris, but you know, the opportunity is there, and I think it's fantastic. I mean, whatever happens for the rest of the afternoon, I have had a wonderful weekend here. It is brilliant. And, you know, I spoke to various people in the build-up to the women's series about what to expect, and I've got to say, it's been better than some people told me to expect. And I won't name them.
Well, it's been good for Joe Locke so far. In this match in particular, this is an absolutely blistering display. 3-0 up now, a double break of throw. And Rhian Griffiths is a little bit like a rabbit in the headlights so far in this match. Look, he's putting in what is turning into the best performance we've seen so far this weekend.
Well, I'll tell you what, Chris, Fallon has got to be on her best possible game to contain a Joe Locke performance like this, if she plays like this against Fallon, if indeed she goes on and gets 2 more legs, which you would expect. Fallon would have to play her best game to get the better of Joe on this form.
Yeah, 3 legs in, averaging 96 going into leg 4. Joe Locke, we haven't seen numbers like that really this weekend. Of course, we have seen Fallon and Lisa produce several averages in the 90s, and indeed a couple each in the hundreds as well in years gone by.
140.
But yeah, you're right. Fallon certainly would have to lift her game. She's played more than well enough to beat the players put in front of her. But we haven't seen the best of Fallon Sherrock this weekend by any stretch of the imagination.
$55.
And again, Locke leads.
45.
Oh, that's a bit of a slip, though. Maybe an opportunity for Rhian to carve out a chance to break back. Needs to find a treble, really, in this visit.
Yeah, Rhian knows she's in deep trouble here. Only averaging 69, but Joe Locke had a 96 average. I mean, that is fantastic. Quick check of the scoreboard after every throw. Gets her down to 114 now. Joe Locke. Joe holds a throw, and it's a case of 1 away.
Yeah, the slight bit of hope for Rhian is that it is a slightly extended format for this semi-final, so this would be match point. She played her earlier in the tournament. Big moment coming up. 83 to break the throat.
Yeah, and Joe's left 72, so this has really got to go. And the treble 3 is not what Rhian needed there. However, double 16 is fantastic. What a performance there from Rhian Griffiths. Tidying up quite brilliantly, and she's broken the Joe Locke throw, and if she holds here, that extra leg needed, the longer format, could play into Rhian Griffiths' hands here.
Yeah, that was some recovery, wasn't it, after that stray dart into the...
I'd written her off.
Yeah, absolutely. Treble 3 and then 74 in 2, treble 14, double 16.
Well played.
Bang, bang, back in it.
Yeah. Penny for Joe Locke's thoughts now. But she's got plenty of experience, I'm sure.
100.
She won't be too ruffled. Well, Rhian needs a decent score here, because Joe Locke's hit a 140 and a ton. And so far, Joe Locke has hit, Rhian Griffiths has hit 60-58 and now a score of 9. So Joe Locke is in a great position to break back straight away here and then throw for the match. He says as she hits single one. But what a recovery!
Yeah, she just winced, didn't she? And then quickly reset and tossed it straight in the treble, as Rhian has done with the first and second darts of this visit.
129.
She's found that treble 3 again, but she won't mind that. A 140 is what she's thinking to leave tops.
100.
That'll do.
Absolutely. And if Rhian doesn't do something special here, there'll be no pressure on the Joe Locke throw when she comes back either.
60.
Only 60. Not enough. 6 darts from here.
60.
Going to be back anyway for double 10. So it's looking like a 4-1, and all Rhian Griffiths' brilliant work to tidy up after that mistake
100.
when she started with the last visit and tidied up brilliantly. It could be about to go to waste as Joe Locke hits double 10 and now has the throw for the match and a place against Fallon Sherrock in the final. Great finish from Joe Locke.
Yeah, a long way back for Rhian now. Nigel, I don't normally do this, but I'm going to have to give a shout out to Women's Darts on Twitter.
45.
Okay.
Because I heard my comment about Rhian's Wikipedia entry and they've actually gone and amended it.
Oh, brilliant. Well done. Good afternoon, Women's Darts on Twitter.
So Rhian is now a darts player again, not a former darts player.
Well done. Is that the Twitter handle? Women's Darts?
Women's Darts page, I believe.
Okay. Watch out, Women's Darts page.
60.
You can have another follow very shortly.
She may well be a former participant in this tournament very soon, however, because Joanne Locke is closing in on the win. And it is going to be one that garners confidence to take
60.
into that final against Fallon Sherrock. And Sherrock, who won her semi-final 5-1. Locke looking to repeat the feat. That match will be pretty much straight on after this one, probably about a 5-minute break, but we will have the final of event 3.
97.
So do stay with us and then we'll bring you another tournament. Why not?
Yeah, why not? Let's stick around for another 4 hours or so and keep enjoying ourselves.
41.
Well, Rhian has the look of a beaten player here. Joe Locke is 1 away from that final. And after a shaky leg where Locke has hit 26 and a 45, but our last 2 visits have been 97 and 100. And similarly, Rhian now 58, 41, 41, the last 3 visits. 3 causing problems for Joe as well.
47.
So now 126 needed for Joe Locke. This would be some way to go out. Great treble 19. That 3-bet again is causing both problems.
6.
She won't mind. To be honest, Not sure whether she would have gone for the bull or not if she had it the single 19. Rhian unable to finish.
Rhian probably knows now that it's only a matter of time.
100.
So, can Joe Locke go out with 56 here? There's the 16. Marker for tops, and still the door is open for Rhian Griffiths. Treble 19, double 12 is the route. And now it's 12 for the bullseye. Oh, she's hit the double 12. So it's what, 38 left?
Correct. She's checking with the match official Andrew Davis, who informs her 38. He tells her what she needs.
62.
She can't quite manage it. So Locke looking for double 10 to not only slam the door, but to lock the door on Rhian Griffiths. Double 5. The door is still ajar.
Right, 3 double 8 to stay in this semi-final. One last chance. One last chance missed. I'm assuming it's a last chance.
1 double 1.
What on earth is happening?
Exhibition stuff.
Game shot.
A showpiece shot from Joe Locke to win the match. She takes out 5 in an orthodox fashion. Double 1, 1, double 1, and that is the one that books her place in the first final of her women's